श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम्। शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। योगीशाद्याः समरसः सर्वार्थानां उपक्रमेण नत्वा कृतकृत्यास्ति हुतं नमामि गजाननम्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुस्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मं व्यामोहतस्तदुद्धराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोः भगवतोऽस्य दैकसिन्धो रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। यस्य स्मरणमात्रेण द्वैतवासना प्रमुच्यते बोधात्मकाय नमस्तस्मै भगवते श्रीरमणमहर्षये। हृदाकाशे हृदाभान्तं शान्तमानन्दरूपिणं ज्ञानवान् वन्दे सद्गुरुं श्रीसत्यसायिनं नमः। दोर्भिर्युक्ता चतुर्भिस्फटिकमणिमयीं अक्षमालां ददानास्तेन एकेन पद्मं सितमब्जशकपुस्तकं चापरेण भासा कुन्देन्दुशङ्खस्फटिकमणिनिभा भासमाना समाना सा मे वाग्देवतेयं निवसतुवदने सर्वदा सुप्रसन्ना। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरमारुह्यकविता शाखा वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आञ्जनेयमतिपाटलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमणीयं विग्रहं पारिजाततन्मूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं। भाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। वेदवेद्यवरेवं सजाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचे सदासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। वैदेही सहितं सरतुर्मतले हैमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम्। अग्रे वाचयति प्रपञ्चनसुते दत्तं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरतादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलं। वामे भूरिसुता पश्चात् सुमित्रा सुता शत्रुघ्नो भरतश्च पार्श्वदलयोः वायुवादकोणेषु च सुग्रीवश्च विभीषणश्च विराट् तारासुतो जाम्बवान् मध्ये नीलसरोजकोमलरुचिं भजे श्यामलं। गुरुवर्ते दत्तराज्यो वचनधर्मनं पद्मपद्भ्यां प्रियायाः पाणिस्पर्शाक्षमाभ्यां निशितपतरुजो यो हरीन्द्रानुजाभ्यां वैरूप्या शूर्पणख्याः प्रियव्रहर्षारोपितभ्रूविचर्मत्रस्ताब्दी वद्दसेतुः करदवदघ्नः जानकीकान्तस्मरणम् आञ्जनेयस्वामी की। कश्चित् सुकुशलं राजन् लोकानां राक्षसेश्वर आशङ्केनाथ जाने त्वं यतस्तूर्णमिहागतः। Ravana is received by Mārīcā, is given served food with all due hospitality and respect as befits the king. And after he has eaten and so on, Mārīcā tells him, Kaschit Kushalam Lam, is everything alright with you? Rajan Lokanam Rakshaseshwaraha, you are the Rakshaseshwara for all the worlds. Amongst all the Rakshasas in the world, you are the king for all of them. Such a mighty one you are. But the haste with which you have come to see me gives rise to some apprehension in me. Ashankhe, I have some doubts. Is everything all right? Then Ravana, on hearing this, replies to him, Haro Ramanam, some Rama it seems, has come to Janasthana and he's been doing some mischief there. What I want to do is bring his wife, abduct his wife. Tasya me kuru sachivyam tasya bharyapaharane. I want you to devise a strategy by which I can abduct his wife and come. Now Mārīcā was the mastermind, regarded generally as a clever fellow among the Rakshasas. Ideas the Rakshasas were good at fighting. But strategy, tani brains. Maybe Mārīcā was the They have a spokesperson, no? Maybe he was a thoughts person for all of them. He would come up with ideas. So Ravana goes to him and says, can you come up with some idea, plot by which I can abduct Sītā, Rama's wife? The get udane Mārīcā Rakshasendra vachashrutva Mārīcō vakyam abravīt. Mārīcā, on listening to Rakshasendra, this lord of all the Rakshasas, Ravana's words, Mārīcā replies to him, Ākyāta kena Sītā sa mitra rūpena shatruna tvaya rakshasa sardula kona nandati nanditaha. The first response of Mārīcā. Enna appadina Mārīcā says, Kena, by whom? Kena appadina yarale, by whom? Kena mitra rupena shatruna, pretending to be a friend but actually your enemy. Who was this person who pretends to be your friend but actually is your enemy, who counseled, who advised you to abduct Sītā? எவனாவது உனக்கு சொல்லியிருப்பான், உனக்கா தோணிருக்காது. 10 தலை வச்சுட்டு இருந்தாலும் உனக்கு அப்படிலாம் தோணாது. எவனோ தான் உனக்கு சொல்லி விட்டுருக்கான். Somebody has told you, you did not come up with this. அதனால சொல்ல கேன எவனால சொல்லப்பட்டான்? Who told you? அவன் யாரோ, he is not a friend for you, he is an enemy. ஆனா he is pretending to be mitra rupena. The form of a friend is an enemy. Tvaya rakshasa sardula kona nandati nanditaha. Even though you are trying to make him happy, he is not happy with you. That is why he is plotting for your demise. He is plotting for your downfall. Yaar shonna Sītā mihanayasveti ko braviti bravihi me. Who told you to bring Sītā? Tell me that first. முதல்ல சொல்லணும். ஏன்னா இந்த பையனை விடப்படாது. ரக்ஷோ லோகஸ்ய சர்வஸ்ய கஷ்ருங்கம் சேதுமிச்சதி. Who is that fellow who wants to cut the mountain peak called Rakshasa Kula, the clan of Rakshasas upon the earth? There is somebody who wants to destroy. Is it our enemy or is somebody within our circle? Sollu. Protsahayati kaschatvam sacha shatrura samshayaha. Whoever has encouraged you to behave in this manner or come up with this idea is definitely your enemy. Asamshayaha. We need not entertain any doubts. What does he want to do? He doesn't want you to bring Sītā away. On the other hand, he is asking you to pull the fangs of a poisonous serpent by opening its mouth. By whose action have you been led in this wrong direction? Who is that man who is striking your head while you are asleep, catching you unawares? Yenna, do you know who you are trying to cultivate enmity with? Vishuddha vamsha bijanagrahastha tejo madas samstita dor vishanaha udikshitum Ravana neha yuktaka sa samyuge Raghava gandhasti. The Raman irkane, avan yaru theriyuma? Rama is Raghava gandhasti. Rama is a mighty elephant in mast. Gandhasti, an elephant, generally the elephants go through a stage called mastin or state varum. Elephant in rut. It becomes a male elephant. When it gets into the state, becomes very violent, uncontrollable, can cause havoc. All the other elephants also run away out of fear when they look at this kind of an elephant. The madri or elephant Rama is. In front of him, nobody can even stay. Asauranantastita sandhivalo vidagda raksho mrigakhan nrisimha suptastvaya bodhayituna yuktaka sharanga purno nishitasidam shtraha. அந்த ராமர் யாரு தெரியுமா? Do you know who that Rama is? ஒரு ஹிண்ட் கொடுக்குறான் நீங்க. Mārīcā is giving a hint to Ravana. Day Ravana, you should know him. You have a prior connection with him. என்னதுன்னா அவர் யாரு? நிருசிம்ஹா. He is நிருசிம்ஹா. He is நரசிம்ஹா அப்படின்னு சொல்லி. சாதாரணப்பட்ட ஆள் இல்லடா, அது நரசிம்ஹா. நீ யாருன்னா நீ ஹிரண்யகசிபு. நரசிம்மனுக்கும் ஹிரண்யகசிபுக்கும் ஆகாது. நீ வந்தா உன்னை பார்த்தா கீழ்ச்சி போட்டுடுவேன். அதனால why are you unnecessarily going and playing with him? He is Nrisimha. Rakshasa Mrigaha Nrisimha. Raksho Mriga அப்படின்னா for the Mriga deer. என்ன deer இங்க? What is the deer அப்படின்னா Raksho Mriga அப்படின்னா Rakshasas are compared to the deer in front of Rama, who is a lion. If the deer wants to put up a fight against the lion, என்ன use? What is the point? Rama is a Narasimha. Nrisimha is a lion in human form. It is not appropriate for you to go and wake him up. Ranantastita Sandivalaha. He is like a lion that is charging in anger and fury against his enemies. அதை போய் தொடப்படாது. Don't go near it. It is not appropriate for you to go and wake up that kind of a lion. அது தூங்கிட்டு இருக்கும். The lion called Rama is usually sleeping. Sleeping not physical sleep. அந்த உள்ளுக்குள்ள அந்த ரோஷம் இருக்கே, that great valor, that great prowess of Rama is generally sleeping. அவசியம் இல்லை. ஏன்னா he is with Sītā, he is with Lakshmana, he is surrounded by the rishis. அப்படி இருக்கும்பொழுது there is no need for that valor to come out. அதனால இது தூங்கிட்டு இருக்கும். ஒன்ன மாதிரி ஒரு பைய போய் சீண்டிட்டான்னா எழுந்துடும். அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒன்னால you cannot bear the consequences of going and waking up the valor in Rama. Therefore, do not do that. It is not proper for you to jump into. No, description கொடுக்கறாருங்க. சாபாபகாரே புஜவேகபங்கே ஷரோர் விமாலே சுமகாஹவௌதே மகாஹவௌகே ந ராம பாதாளமுகே திகோரே பிரஸ்கந்திதும் ராட்சசராஜயுக்தம். இந்த ராமான் இருக்கானே, this Rama, there is a great, in the ocean there is a whirlpool, real whirlpool, maelstrom. And the whirlpool is like a big mouth, the opening of that whirlpool is like a mouth, and it funnels down. Where does it lead to? It leads to as though going to the Patala, subterranean regions of Patala. அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும். Rama is like that whirlpool. Rama is like the mouth of that whirlpool. Rama Pathala Mukhe. Rama is like a Pathala Mukham. Bhujanga Vegapankhe. அவனுடைய arms, the might of the arms is what is stirring up that great whirlpool. Sumahahavoghe, there is a great flow of current and the powerful energy that is floating around him. Athi Gore, extremely fierce. அப்பேற்பட்ட ராமன் அப்படிங்கிற பாதாள முகத்துக்குள்ள நீயா போய் குதிக்கப்படாது. You should not go jumping on your own accord into that whirlpool. போகாதே. அதனால don't go. நான் சொல்றேன் கேளு. பிரசீத லங்கேஸ்வர ராட்சசேந்திர லங்காம் பிரசன்னோ பவ சாதுகச்ச त्वं स्वेषु दारेषु रमस्व नित्यं रामस्व भार्यो रमतां वनेषु. You do one thing, you go to Lanka. There all your wives are waiting for you. You spend your time happily with your wives. Let Rama spend his time happily with his wife in the forest. You got to go back to Lanka. But then Ravana nodded all his 10 heads. Onnonna aatinan thalayellam 10 thalayum aati. Mamukto dashagrivo Mārīcēna sava Rāvaṇa. Dashagrivaha nu சொல்றார் இல்லையா வால்மீகி. 10-headed one அப்படின்னா சொன்னபோது he nodded all his 10 heads. Right, all right, okay அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அங்கே இருந்து he returned to Lanka. வந்துட்டான், சமத்தா வந்துட்டான், ஒன்றும் பண்ணலை. he came to Lanka. எல்லாம் முடிஞ்சு போயிடுத்துன்னு நினச்சா அங்கேருந்து ஊற்றி வரா. விட்ட குறை தொட்ட குறை அப்படின்னு ஒன்று இருக்கு இல்லையா? விட்டுட முடியுமா? கதை பாட்டு சுவாரஸ்யமாக போகிறது. Story is picking up. Akampana came. As soon as Akampana came, Ravana went to Mārīcā. We all thought, okay, it's going to happen. அப்படின்னா சில சமயம் நம்ம தீபாவளி போது பட்டாசு வெடிக்கலான்னு போவோம். during Deepavali, we light crackers. அப்போ போய் பயந்துட்டே வேறு படப்படான்னு இருக்கும் இல்லையா, அது பெரிய அந்த 10,000 வாலா என்னமோ லட்ச வாலாலாம் இருக்கும், வாலாவாக இருக்கும், வாலி மாதிரி. அது பாட்டு ஆஸ் இட் இஸ் லேட் டவுன் தேர் வித் கிரேட் ஃபியர். ஒரு குச்சும் ஒரு ஊதுபத்தியை வேறு எடுத்துன்னு போவோம். வித் an ஊதுபத்தி அதுலேருந்து பாரு புகையாக வருமா, as it is smoke will come from that. So we do not know whether this wick has been lit or not. பயந்து போய் இப்படி நடுங்கி அது பக்கத்தில் வைக்க முடியாது, கையெல்லாம் ஆடும். Finally somehow we will manage to put the burning tip of the agarbatti, the incense stick, with that wick of that great long firecracker. ஓட்டம் அங்கேருந்து உடனே we run back to safety. அது அப்படி எரிஞ்சுட்டு it will start அப்புறம் becomes a non-starter. இவ்வளோ பண்ண பெரிய இதுதான் அதுக்கு. கிரேட் ப்ரிப்பரேஷன் வாஸ் ஆல் ரைட், பட் இன் தி எண்ட் த வீக் வில் நாட் ஈவன் பர்ன் ஃபுல்லி டு ஸ்டாப். ஏன் அப்படின்னா நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டில் எஸ்பெஷலி தமிழ்நாடு தி நார்த் ஈஸ்ட் மான்சூன் கம்ஸ் டியூரிங் தீபாவளி only. So as a result, all these firecrackers are mostly damp. எல்லாம் வெயிலில் வச்சு காய வச்சுன்னா பட்டாசு வெடிப்போம் அந்த காலத்தில் நாங்கள்லாம். In those days, we used to buy the firecrackers a week or two before, because then we will put it outside under the sun so that it all becomes dry, so that it will catch fire properly. இல்லைன்னா புஷ்ஷுன்னு போடும். அந்த மாதிரி Ramayana is also going புஷ். ஏதோ பெருசாக ஆக போகிறது, something is going to happen. ஆஹா, Ravana, the agarbatti called Ravana is going, Mārīcā is the firecracker, it is going to go, அப்படியே பட் and புஷ், Ravana came back. உடனே what happened, விட்டுருவோமா நம்ம, then somebody will come, hey நான் போறேன்டா அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு somebody else will come and somebody will say no let us do it again, let us go there again. இப்போ by this time what has happened, the wick is shortened. இவ்வளோதான் இருக்கும். முதலையாவது இவ்வளோ இருந்தது. At least the beginning this long wick was there. When it was lit we had enough time to run away. Now only this much will be left. அதில் கொஞ்சம் let us go and still keep it அப்படின்னு. அந்த மாதிரி like that. When Ravana came back, returned, Śurpanakhā arrived. Seeing Rama's prowess, Śurpanakhā became afraid. Finally she comes. அதுக்குள்ள அக்கம்பனா has come back. அக்கம்பனன் சீக்கிரம் வந்துட்டான். Śurpanakhā இப்பதான் வரா, மெதுவா வரா Śurpanakhā. She enters into Ravana's darbar, assembly hall. பார்த்தா Ravana is sitting there. ஜம்முன்னு உட்காந்துருக்கா, மினிஸ்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கா, எல்லாரும் surrounded by all his ministers. சா ததர்ஷ விமானாக்ரே ராவணம் தீப்ததே தேஜசம் உபோபவிஷ்டம் சச்சிவைர் மருத்பீரிவ வாசவம். Like Indra surrounded by all the Marudganas, Ravana seated there surrounded by all his ministers. Asinam surya sankashe kanchane paramasane rukmavedigatam prajyam jvalantamiva pavakam. Magnificent golden simhasana, golden throne that is dazzling. On top of that, Ravana sitting there. How does he look? Abdina pavakopamam jalantamiva pavakam, like a blazing tongue of fire. Ravana is seated. Deva gandharva bhutana rishinam cha mahatmana ajeyam samare shuram vyattanana vivantakam. Deva gandharva bhutana mahatmana rishinam cha samare ajeyam. Undefeated by gods, Gandharvas, all kinds of living beings, sages and saints also could not do anything to him. Where but a tapashakti, that great mighty Ravana seated there like Yama himself with his jaws wide open. Devasura vimardeshu vajrashani kritavranam airavat vishanagrai ruddashta kinavakshasam. Valmiki is describing how Ravana is sitting. Ravana, when he went and fought with Indra in the olden days. But what happened after Indra's elephant Airavata was there. Indra drove Airavata onto Ravana to crush him. What happened after the tusk of Airavata penetrated into Ravana's chest. Somehow when it penetrated, it missed the lungs and the heart and so on, but penetrated nevertheless. It penetrated through and right through from the chest to the back. Airavata had pierced Ravana. Ravana, what he did, he just twisted his torso like this. When he twisted his chest like that, the tusk broke The tusk of the elephant Airavata, Indra's elephant Airavata, broke. And then he gave a punch to the elephant flew away. In the end, he returned after winning over Indra. When he returned, he had the tusk still pierced, implanted in him. All the doctors came there and said, we will immediately do a surgery and remove it. No need. No need. I will wear this as an ornament. It had gone in. There was no hole anywhere. Infection, he had no such fear. So what he did was he cauterized that wound and then he placed a big ornament on top of it. He made it an ornament for himself. In the encounter between the Devas and the Asuras, when the war happened, even the tips of the tusk of Airavata could not do anything. All it left was a mark upon him which he wore with great pride. Rāvaṇa. Vimshad bhujam dashagrivam darshaniya parichadam vishalavakshasam வீரம் ராஜலக்ஷண சோபிதம். நம்ம வால்மீகி பகவானுடைய ஒரு அழகு பாருங்க. The kind of description that he poured over Rama. எத்தனை description. Rama அப்படி ராஜி இந்து ராஜி வலோச்சனம் அதுவே எல்லாம் பெரிய description இல்லையா. ஆனால் இங்கே Ravana is the villain of the piece இல்லையா. அதுக்காக he doesn't paint him in different colors, black colors இல்லை. He paints him also exactly as he described. Ramara மாதிரியே ஜலந்தம் இவ பாவகம், like a blazing tongue of fire he was seated there. Vimshad bhujam, 20 arms. Dashagrivam, 10 heads. Darshaniya parichadam. His attire, his dress, everything was darshaniyam, worthy of looking at. Vishalavakshasam, broad chest. Veeram, extremely valiant. Rajalakshana shobitam, endowed with all royal marks, royal insignias. Snigdha vaidurya sankhasham, tapta kanchana kundalam, subhujam, shukladashanam, mahasyam parvatopamam. Snigdha vaidurya sankhasham, tapta kanchana kundalam. He was glittering like vaidurya. Vaidurya is a gem. Vaidurya is the cat sign. There's a semi-precious stone called cat size. That's Vaidurya. Looking like that Vaidurya, he was sitting there. Tapta kanchana kundalam with earrings that were made of burnished, refined gold. Subhujam, strong, shapely arms. Shukladashanam, white teeth. Mahasyam, huge big mouth. Parvatopamam, he was sitting there looking like a mountain. Vishnu chakra nipataischa, shatasho devasam yuge, anyai sharastra praharaischa, mahayuddeshu taditam. Ahatangam samastaischa, deva praharanaistata, akshobhyanam samudranam kshobanam kshiprakarinam. He was hit by Vishnu's chakra shatashaha, hundreds of times during the war. Nothing happened to him. He was hit by Vishnu chakra hundreds of times, but nothing happened to him. All the other gods poured various weapons upon him, nothing happened to this body of his. Even the gods who are powerful enough to agitate the entire ocean were not able to move Ravana an inch in the war when they have fought with him. Sheptaram parvatendranam, he could lift up mountains and throw it at them. Suranam cha pramardanam, he could destroy the gods by throwing mountains at them. Uchetaram cha dharmanam paradara vimarshanam. Where Bhattavan, so much strength, so much capacity he has got, what did he do? Abdinna? He cast an eye upon the wife of another. Paradara vimarshanam, he cast an evil eye upon the wife of another. Idhanuடைய ஒரு பாவம். This is the one mistake that he had committed அப்படின்னு சொல்றான். He went to Nagaloka, defeated Takshaka, Vasuki. He went to Kailasa. He went to Alakapuri, conquered Kubera, took away Pushpaka Vimana from him. Out of anger, he destroyed the gardens of all the gods, Chitraratha, Nandana, Abdingara. Pleasure gardens of Kubera, Indra, etc. were all under his command. He was like a great mountain, Chandra Suryo Mahabhaga, Uttishtantav Parantabhav. He could stop the sun and the moon from rising if he chose to. Parantabha, he was the scorcher of his enemies. But extraordinary strength. He performed tapasya for 10,000 years in a dense forest. How did he perform this tapasya? After performing this tapasya, when Brahma did not appear, he started chopping off his heads and giving it to Brahma. Dashavarsha Sahasrani tapastaptva mahavane pura swayambhuve dhira shirasamsi upajahara yaha. Taleya eduthu kodutana. Appadina enna artham appadina he was unafraid of even death. Deva, Danava, Gandharva, Pishacha, Patagoragaihi, Abhayam Yasya Sangrame, Mrityuto, Manushadrute. Appeared but Ravana, when he performed the tapasya and Brahma appeared in front of him and asked him for what boon do you want to go. He sought immunity from Deva, Danava, Gandharva, Pishacha, Pataga, Uraga. He sought immunity from all kinds of creatures, Ritad Manava, except forgetting human beings, he sought protection from everybody. Appeared but Ravana, because of the strength that he had, he disrupted the yajnas and yagas of sages. He killed Brahmanas, Brahmagnyam, Brahmagnam, he killed Brahmanas. Dushtacharinam, Aptayajnaharam, Kruram, Brahmagnam, Dushtacharinam, disruptor of yajnas, Kruram, cruel person, Brahmagnam, destroyer of Brahmanas, Dushtacharinam, a man of evil conduct and character, Karkasham, harsh person, Niranukrosham, Kunjamuda, he did not have any mercy at all in him, Prajanam Ahiteratam, Prajanam Hiteratam, அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவா. இவனுக்கு Prajanam Ahiteratamனு சொல்ல வேண்டும். Generally, when Rama was described as Prajanam cha Hiterataha. He was always interested in the welfare of all beings. Even Ravana, Prajanam Ahiteratam, he was interested in the causing damage and evil to all beings, great harm to all beings. But Ravana was sitting there. Śurpanakhā goes and laments. She starts to cry in front of Ravana. When danger has come upon you, when enemies have come marching to the very outposts of your outer gate, you are still sitting here thinking nothing has happened. Like an ostrich, you are sitting here. Do you know what has happened in Janasthana? You are addicted to your own pleasures. Gramyeshu bhogeshu, saktam gramyeshu bhogeshu, kamavrittam mahibhatim. You now Rajavada. Are you a king? You are only interested in your own selfish pleasures. You are addicted only to your own vulgar pleasures of the flesh. You are not interested in the kingdom. What kind of a king are you? If the king is not aware of what is happening, if the king does not have enough spies to report to him and tell him what is happening, of all the movements of the enemies, then he will soon lose his kingdom. What kind of a king you are? What happened? I know everything. You don't have to come and tell me. Why? What happened? Why are you yelling? This is what happened. Kara is dead, Dushana is dead, Tricharas is dead. All these fellows in Janasthana, entire Janasthana has been routed. All of them have been killed. One fellow called Rama has done it. Ravaṇan ketan. Kascha Ramaha. Katam viryaha. Kim rupaha. Kim parakramaha. Kimartam dandakaranyam pravishta sudurasadam. Kascha Ramaha. The Raman Kaha. Who is this Rama? Katam. What kind of strength does he have? Kim rupaha. How does he look? Kim parakramaha, what is his valor? For what purpose did he come into the Dandakaranya? When he asked all these questions, Śurpanakhā starts to describe Rama. Tato Ramam yata tattvam akyatam upachakrame. She started to say exactly how Rama is. Ramam yata tattvam. As Rama was, apne detail cholra. Dirghabahu visalaksha Chīrakrishna-jināmbaraha kandarpa-samarupascha Ramo Dasharathatmaja. Sometimes we do not know whether Śurpanakhā is also singing bhajans or not. It's like singing bhajans. Dirghabahu Visalakshaha Ajanubahum Aravindanetram Atma Biramam Manasa Smaramin. We sing like that. Dirghabahur Visalakshaha Chira Krishna Jinambaraha Kandarpa Samarupascha Ramo Dasharathatmaja. Rama, Dasharatha's son. Looking Kandarpa Samarupaha, he's looking like Manmatha himself. Dirghabahu, long arms. Vishalakshaha, beautiful, wide, broad eyes. Thriyavaya Kankal. Alvarum Pradhan Cholra, Śurpanakhā Pradhan Cholra, Yenna Vyas Nariman. Alvargum Śurpanakhā Vyas Nariam Pedri, Yenna, our Priyavaya Kankal, and Nepedame Shedanave, Alvar Chola. Even Shora Vishalaksham of the Navasha. Nabria Kandadirima. And Nani Lamaki Padutunda, Privat Prisha Pointer Guy. Another Pointer Goliokai and the Madri. Dirghabahur Visalaksha Chira Krishna Jinambara Kandarpa Samarupascha Ramo Dasharathatmaja Shakrachapanibham Chapam Vikrishya Kankanangadam Deeptan Kshipati Narajan Sarpaniva Mahavishan. Anna, he has got a bow in his hand that looks like Indra's bow. And he's standing there holding this bow, and the Kaila he is wearing gold bands on his arms. You know how it dazzles. And then when he holds that bow and he draws it to release the arrows. 14,000 Rakshasas were killed by him. I was trying to see the flight of the arrow. Nanum try pandren, even though I am seeing Na dadano sharan goran munchantam shilimukhan Nakarmukam Vikarshantam Ramam Pashyami Samyuke. I did not know when he lifted the arrow up, when he placed it onto the bow, pulled it, and when he left it. Every arrow was flying out. 14,000 Rakshasas were killed by him only by arrow. He didn't take any other weapon. Just bow and arrow. For each arrow, he has got to take it from the quiver. He has to place it on the bowstring. He has to take aim and then he has to let it fly. I'm trying to catch hold of that movement. But Nabashyami, I was not able to see him. Just as when hailstones come and destroy the entire field of crops, it mows down the crops like that. With this shower of arrows, Rama destroyed all the Rakshasas. He did not even have a chariot. Rakshasam Bhima Rupanam Sahasrani Chaturdasha Nihatani Sharair Stikshni Tenaikena Padatina. He was standing on foot. He did not have a chariot or anything. Just merely by standing with the sharp arrows, 14,000 Rakshasas. We know the power of the Rakshasas who were stationed in Janasthana. Ardhadika muhurtena karascha sakhadushanaha. Ardha adhika muhurtena, just a little bit over a muhurta, he destroyed all of them. He alone, including Karan Dushana, he has done. Peace has been restored to Dandakaranya. Peace has been restored to Dandakaranya. All the rishis have been assured of safety. Strivadam shankamanena ramena viditatmana Eka katanchit muktakam paribhuya mahatmana Strivadam shankamanena ramena viditatmana. Everybody was killed. Somehow I alone escaped. The reason why I escaped was and the Mahatman Rakane. Mahatmana, the great Mahatma, Yar Rama. The great Mahatma Vidhitatmana, the one who knows the self, and the Atmajnani and Raman Rakane. The Rama who is the knower of the self, that great noble Rama, did not want to kill a woman. That is why he left me. Rama, you can never talk about Rama alone. Pakatiliye kuda brata chasya mahateja gunastulya vikramaha gunatastulya vikramaha anuraktascha bhaktascha lakshmano nama viryavan. Ramanuடைய பராக்கிரமம் இப்படி அப்படின்னா லக்ஷ்மணனுடைய பராக்கிரமம் சரணமே. We have got to also equally talk about Lakshmana's great valor. யார் லக்ஷ்மணன்? அனுரக்தஸ்ச பக்தஸ்ச. அனுரக்தன் extremely devoted, பக்தஸ்ச பரமபக்தன், குணதஸ்துல்ய விக்ரமஹ, equal to him in veera, equal to him in parakramam, equal to him in valor. Brata, his brother. Mahateja, extremely radiant. Yar Lakshmano nama viryavan, another great hero called Lakshmana. Amarshi durjayo jeta vikranto buddhiman bali ramasya dakshino bahuhu nityam prano bahishcharaha. கொஞ்ச நாள் அதுக்கு கன்க்ளூஷன் வந்துட்டா. இப்போ இந்த ஷார்ட் டியூரேஷன் இன்டராக்ஷன் தட் ஷி ஹேட் கரெக்டா ஷி அண்டர்ஸ்டுட் லக்ஷ்மணா. ஷி டிஸ்கிரைபிங் லக்ஷ்மணா. அமர்ஷி அப்படின்னா இஸ் irascible. சட்டு சட்டுன்னு கோவம் வந்துடும் அவனுக்கு. Gets very angry very quickly, very impatient he is, intolerant. Durjayaha, invincible. Jeta, he is always victorious. Vikrantaha அப்படின்னா very courageous, very bold, very heroic. Buddhiman, very intelligent. Bali, strong. Ramasya dakshino bahuhu, he is like right hand of Rama. Nityam prano bahishcharaha, he is like the Rama's own life, Rama's life breath that lives outside the body. Rama ரெண்டு life breath போடு, ஒன்னு உள்ள இருக்கு ஒன்னு வெளியில இருக்கு. இப்படி ராமனுடைய தம்பி, ராமாஸ் பிரதர் லக்ஷ்மணா. ராமஸ்ய து விஷாலாக்ஷே பூர்ணேந்து சுத சத்ருஷானனா धर्मपत्नी प्रिया भर्तुः नित्यं प्रियहिते रता. And then his wife. அவ எப்படி இருக்கானா? ராமஸ்ய து விஷாலாக்ஷி, அவளுக்கு இவன் விஷாலாக்ஷா, அவ விஷாலாக்ஷி. If Rama has big eyes, அப்படின்னா Sītā also has big eyes. அவளுக்கு பெரிய பெரிய வாய கண்கள் அவளுக்கும் இருக்கு. ஏன்னா இவரை பார்த்துட்டே இருக்கணுமேங்கிறதுக்காக பெரிய கண்ணு அவளுக்கு. அப்போ அவருக்கு ஏன் பெரிய கண்ணு? நம்ம எல்லாரையும் பார்க்கணுமேன்னு அவருக்கு பெரிய கண்ணு. இவர் ஒத்தரையே பார்க்கணுமேனு அவளுக்கு பெரிய கண்ணு. Why does Sītā have long, big, large eyes? அப்படின்னா so that she can exclusively look at Rama alone. Why does Rama have such large, big eyes? So that he can exclusively look at all of us. ஆக ராமஸ்ய து விசாலாக்ஷி பூர்ணேந்து சத்ருஷானனா, with a face எப்படி இருக்கு அப்படின்னா like the full moon. Sītā's face is as radiant as the full moon. Dharmapatni, his lawful legal wife. Priya, very devoted to him, his beloved. Bhartur nityam priya, he is always devoted to her husband, beloved of the husband. Priya hite rata, she is always interested in his welfare, in his well-being. அவருக்காகவே தான் இருக்கா. Sa sukeshi, தீர்க்கம், real beautiful hair she has got. ஏன்னா இவளுக்கு என்ன பார்த்த போல இவளுக்கு எப்படி இருக்கு, நல்லா காப்பர் கலர்ல இருந்ததுன்னு சொன்ன போல தாமிர மூர்த்தஜா அப்படி சுட்டு சுட்டியா என்னமோ இருக்கு. தான் அழகுன்னு நினச்சிட்டு இருந்தா அது வரைக்கும். She was thinking that was beauty. Her reddish like copper wire மாதிரி இருக்கு hair அவருக்கு. How was her hair அப்படின்னா like copper wire it is. ஏதோ எலக்ட்ரிசிட்டி ஷாக் அடிச்சதுன்னா அப்படி இருக்குமே அது மாதிரி. You put your hand into the electric socket and suddenly electric thing goes, they say hair will stand on this ends. அது மாதிரி hair. பார்த்தா Sītā சுகேஷி அப்படிங்கிறா. எப்படி இருக்கானா? She has got such beautiful hair. Sunasa, Sunasoru, Sunasa, beautiful nose. Uru, beautiful thighs. Surupa, generally good looking. Oh, on the whole, very beautiful. Yashasvini, very renowned, illustrious woman. Devate Vavanasyasya Rajate Shririvapara. Like another Mahalakshmi, she is residing in the forest. She looks like a goddess. She looks like the presiding goddess of the entire forest. அப்பேற்பட்ட சீதா. அவ யாரு அப்படின்னா தப்த காஞ்சன வர்ணாபா, கோல்டன் காம்ப்ளெக்ஷன், ரக்த துங்கனகி சுபா, பியூட்டிஃபுல் ரெட் கலர் நெயில்ஸ், அழகான நெயில்ஸா, மஹந்தி போட்டுன்னு இருக்கா, மருதாணி போட்டு லட்சக்கச்சவேன்னு இருக்கும் கையெல்லாம், நெயில் பாலிஷ் ஒன்றும் போட்டுக்கல, மருதாணி போட்டுன்னு இருக்கா. அதெல்லாம் காட்டில் கிடைக்கும் போது அரைச்சி அப்படி போட்டு கொண்டிருக்காங்க. ஹென்னா, she has taken henna and she has anointed her nails with it. அதனால nails are all beautiful reddish nails. Sītā nama varāroga vaidehi tanumadhyama. Her name is Sītā, her name is Vaidehi. Naiva devi na gandharvi na yakshi na chakinnari naivam rūpā maya nāri drishtabhurvā mahītale. I have not seen another woman like her in the entire earth. Even all your wives cannot hold a candle to her. She is so beautiful. Abherpata beauty, woman of extraordinarily good conduct, Sushila. இவளை பற்றி என்ன டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன் பார்க்கணும்? Will a woman generally praise another woman? Willingly will a woman praise a woman? அது இவ்வளோ praise பண்ணுவாளா? Even Rama, she only mentioned 2 shlokas. 2-3 shlokas Rama முடிச்சுட்டா. சீதைக்கு அடிக்கிண்டே போறா. She is praising, overpraising Sītā in so many shlokas. Sa Sushila, good character, good conduct. Babushlagya, with perfect appearance. Rūpena pratima bhuvi, incomparable beauty upon this earth. Tavanurupa bharyasya tvam cha tasyas tatapatihi. In fact, Anna, if there is anybody equal, if there is a right, appropriate husband for her, it should be you. You alone, Ravana, you should be the appropriate husband. In fact, I did not want to unnecessarily go get into trouble with them. But when I saw this woman, I thought she deserves to be with you. I thought you deserve her. That is why I went there so that I can bring her for you. Kathe maathitta padala. Na anyayam mooku patrama vadakonu naakiyamna sethu vittirukonu. Mookoda சேர்ந்து naakiyamna sethu vittirukonu ungalku. இப்படி போய் சொல்றாளே குஷாம. She is lying through her teeth. She is lying through her teeth. Lakshmana should not have chopped her nose. He should have chopped off her tongue also. Coola சொல்றா அடிச்சு விடுறா. She said, I will eat Sītā so that I can marry Rama. என் கதையை மாத்திட்டு she says the whole story. I said, I wanted to eat Rama so that I can bring Sītā for you. அப்படி சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லலாமா? ஆராதுன்னா சொல்லப்படாது, அவள் தப்பு சொல்லப்படாது. We cannot blame her also. She was so shocked by Rama's prowess that she got confused. She just got confused. Transpose it though. She said, I went to eat Sītā so that I can marry Rama. அப்படிங்கிறது போல I went to eat Rama so that you can marry Sītā. அப்படின்னு கொஞ்சம் மாறி கொடுத்தாங்க. மூலபர். The shock was so much. The trauma, post-traumatic. என்னமோ சொல்றாளே, PTSD. And திருப்பி பார்த்தா அந்த 40,000 ராட்சதாஸ் falling. It is not easy for her to watch that. PTSD அப்படி தெரப்பிலாம் ஒன்றும் இல்லை அவளுக்கு. She has to be counseled. She needs emotional therapy. She needs a psychiatrist. Only problem is Śurpanakhā and psychiatrist may not come out alive. First idana short go. Now halfway through the session, I'm rushing but நான் போறேன்னு கிளம்பிட்டான்னா பாதியில முழுங்கிட்டானா பண்றது அவனை. அவன் உட்காந்து ஃப்ரெஞ்ச் ஃப்ரைஸ் மாதிரி எடுத்து தின்னு போவோம். அதனால Śurpanakhāக்கெல்லாம் போய் தெரப்பி பண்றதுலாம் கஷ்டம். It's not easy to go and give the psychiatric therapy to Śurpanakhā. She will eat you like she's eating French fries. Halfway through the session, she will feel bored. She will eat the therapist. When I was trying to bring her for you, that cruel Lakshmana disfigured me like this. It is not right. Adanale, now itself you have to take an effort. Do a favor to your clan. Nee rendu vela pananum. One, 2 reasons I am giving you. One, they have threatened you, they have questioned your suzerainty, they have come and challenged your rule. Therefore, you have got to respond to that. Second reason, you have got to marry her. You should make her your own. So many people collect so many things. Some people collect stamps, some people collect coins, some people collect cars, some people collect fragrances, some people collect body shop products. Some people collect mantras. நிறைய பேர் கலெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டே போவாங்க. ஏதாவது அந்த மாதிரிலாம் சாம்பிள்ஸ் எல்லாம் கலெக்ட் பண்ணுவோம். சில பேர்லாம் சாம்பிளாக வச்சுட்டு இருப்பாங்க வீட்டில். They collect samples. Ravana collected ladies. Ravana had ஒரு ஹேபிட் என்ன அப்படின்னா, இவர் கலெக்ட் விமன். பாபா வச்சு எல்லாம் ஹால் ஆஃப் ஃபேம் மாதிரி வச்சுட்டு இருப்பாங்க. ஸ்ரீவனம். He wanted to grow a ஸ்திரீ ஃபாரஸ்ட், a female forest. அதனால since you like, she is a collectible for you. Since you like to collect these things, definitely you should collect her. Sri Rathanam ava You've got to make her your own. For these two reasons, you've got to immediately take some action, assess your own strength, and then abduct her, make her your wife. This is important for you. Rāvaṇan பார்த்தான். Rāvaṇai தப்பு சொல்லப்படாது. What happened with Rāvaṇa அப்படின்னா, Rāvaṇa, Akampana came and told him certain things. So immediately he said, okay, I will test it out. And he went and asked Mārīcā. Mārīcā said, don't get into this trouble. He came back home. Once again, when Śurpanakhā comes with the same thing in world, is it an omen? Is it a sign from the heaven? Am I supposed to do something about it? No, I decided to not do anything the first time. Second time again it is coming up. Maybe, the heavens want me to have Sītā as to bring Sītā. No, you cannot blame him. No? First time he went, he asked, and he immediately took Mārīcā's counsel on board and came back. But second time when this happened, he thought maybe there is something more to this. I better get to the root of it. And I tell you, once again, he got his chariot yoked. And once again he ascended upon the chariot, flew across in the sky, went up to the island by the coast where Mārīcā had his ashrama. Once went back to Mārīcā again. திருப்பி அங்கேயே போயிட்டான். அப்ப Mārīcā கிட்ட போன உடனே Mārīcā looked at him and said, என்னாச்சு? கஷ்சித் குஷலம் சுகுஷலம் ராஜன் லங்காயாம் ராட்சசேஸ்வரா கேனார்த்தேன புனஸ்துவம் வை தூர்ணமேவ விஹாகதஹ. Is everything still all right? Why have you come back again so soon? இப்பதானே கிளம்பினேன். உனக்கு ஷோர் போடும் ஆளாது எனக்கு. ஏதோ இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் போட்டு அமுச்சு விட்டு திருப்பி வந்து இப்பதானே கொடுத்தேன் எல்லாம். ஏன்னா திருப்பி கொடுத்தான் பாவம். Again he gave him everything. Sarvakame ramanushaihi. Immediately he came there, and as soon as Rāvaṇa came, he brought water food he had. Again he brought all the amanushahi food. He brought all the food once again. Spread everything in front of Rāvaṇa again. And he said, இந்த மாதிரி வந்துட்டே இருந்தா நான் போண்டி ஆயிடுவேன். ஏற்கனவே நான் சன்னியாசி உட்கார்ந்துட்டு இருக்கேன் காட்டுல. As it is, I have an ashrama, I am sitting here. I am not meant to entertain kings. If you keep on coming like this, what will happen to me? Why have you come back here again? What is the problem? Is everything all right? Rāvaṇa சொன்னான். Mārīcā श्रूयतां तात वचनं मम भाषतः आर्तोऽस्मि मम चार्तस्य भवान् हि परमागतिः. தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவா, காரியான வரைக்கும் காலை பிடிப்பான், அப்புறம் கழுத்தை பிடிப்பான்னு சொல்லுவா இல்லையா? Tamil they say, to get the work accomplished, he will fall at your feet. But then afterwards, he will hold your neck. To get the task accomplished, he will come and fall at your feet. But later on, after his task is accomplished, he will choke you. But to indicate certain types of people, we use this saying. Perhaps it originated from Rāvaṇa. Because what does Rāvaṇa say first? Mārīcā, Tata, oh, respected one uncle, Mārīcā, you please listen to what I have got to say. Śrūyatam, vachanam mama bhāshata. Whatever I am saying, you please listen to me. Ārtosmi, na kashtathla irukken. I am in great trouble. Ārtosmi, I am very distressed. Mamacha artasya bhavan hi paramagati. You are my only refuge. You are my sole refuge. You are my ultimate refuge. You alone can relieve me of my sorrow, of my distress. My great brothers, you should know, Janishe tvam janasthane yatha bratha karo mama dushanascha mahabahu swasa Śurpanakhā chame trishirascha mahateja rakshasa pishitashanaha anye cha bhagavashura labdalaksha nishacharaka. Many rakshasas were stationed in Janasthana. You know about it yourself. My brothers, Kara, Dushana, Trishiras was there. My sister Śurpanakhā. They were harassing all the rishis, dharmacharinaha, all the people who were following dharma. They were harassing by my orders. You know about this. 14,000 rakshasas I had got there. I had stationed there. But they all met Rama in an encounter. And without speaking anything, he just used his bow and arrow and he finished everybody off. He killed 14,000 Rakshasas, he killed Kara, Dushana, Trishiras, everybody he killed. It has become a challenge to my authority. The yaar theriyuma indha Raman, do you know who this Rama is, fellow? Veliya raja onnum kediyadu. Rama fellow. Pitra nirastha kruddena sabharya kshina jeevitaha sahanta tasya sainyasya Rama kshatriya bhamsana. The Ravan irkane, this Rama was banished by his father out of anger, it seems. Kada Mārīcā, the Chinese whisper said. It seems his father Dasharatha became angry with him and said, hey, get out of my sight, go to the forest. He banished him along with his wife. Such a fellow. Kshina jeevitaha. Useless fellow, wretched fellow. That kind of a fellow who's a kshatriya bhamsanaha, who's a disgrace to all kshatriyas. Such a fellow killed all our rakshasas, it seems. Dushilaha is a man of bad conduct. Ravana Chandra. Dushilaha, Karkashaha, he is a very harsh fellow. Tikshno, very sharp fellow, arrogant fellow, insolent fellow. Murkaha is a fool. Lubdaha, avaricious fellow. Ajitendriyaha, he is a slave to his senses. Tyakta dharma, hyadharmatma, giving up his dharma, he is adopted adharma. Bhutana mahiterataha, he is a man who is roaming around only doing harm to all good people. See, history is always written by the victor only. When we study history, there is no greater lie than history. And depending upon who has won, history is always rewritten in favor of those who have won. Yes or no? Alexander the Great. What was great about Alexander? We do not know. He killed everybody who said opposed him. He killed everybody who was opposed to him. Oh, great. We call him great. It was history. Now today, for instance, there are other rulers like that. Around the world, we will find rulers like that who will kill their oppositions, who will silence their opposition. Now we will keep saying all kinds of things. 1,000 years later, they will be called great. Because anybody who wrote anything against them would have been silenced. So nothing else would be written, only this will be written about it. So if Ravana had survived, suppose Ravana had survived, then what would have history said? Ramana pati enna sollumna? Dushilaha, Karkashaha, Lubdaha, Ajitendriyaha, Tyakta dharmo, Adharmatma. Yara solluvada. Ramana pati solla mudiyuma the vaarthaigalellam. Are these the words that one can even utter about Rama? Adharmatma na Ramana solla mudiyuma. Dushilaha, man of evil conduct, bad conduct, harsh person. Lubdaha, greedy fellow. Ramana, appearbata rajyatime nahamartabaro devi. He cast aside the entire kingdom, and Mārīcā says, Lubdaha na urabda paresh. What is the meaning of this? People, all kinds of people will talk in various ways without knowing anything about the truth. About Bhagavan's attendant, Natesha here, he was used to be in the ashram, and somebody said something about him in the later years. Somebody said something not so nice about him, unsavory about him. So, hurt by that, the one person came and said, they are saying these kind of things about you, Swami. What do they know? What do they know? What do they know? Magical words are there. Magical words are there. Enna magical words appadina? When you say what do they know, then their words become meaningless because they are based out of ignorance. If somebody says something about us, if you are upset about it, that means you are giving value to the person who has said those words. You should think about it very logically. Think about it logically. Suppose somebody has said something about you, and on listening to that you are upset. if you are upset means you are giving importance and value to their words, you are giving importance to their judgment. So, if you do give value and to their judgment, then you should not be upset, you should take it seriously and correct yourself. Because you are saying they are right. How can they say that to me? You cannot question, because the moment you have given that much importance to their words, you have accepted their judgment as right. That means what they have said about you is correct. Then why are you questioning? Why are they saying this about me? You should not. Then correct. If it is not acceptable, do not accept their judgment also. What do they know? Then you have looked at it as they have spoken out of ignorance, therefore why should I bother about it? They do not even know me. Has Ravana seen Rama? He has never seen Rama, he knows nothing about Rama. Dushilaha, Karkashaha, Tikshnaha, Murkaha, Lubdaha, Ajitendriyaha, Nishtam Porna, Tektadarmaha, Adharmatma, Illa Chulrana. They are serious at the border. That is why these kind of things should be ignored. Valmiki was waxed eloquent about Rama's adherence to Dharma. He is also saying the same, putting these words through Ravana's lips. What is the reason? Even such a Dharmatma as Rama can be accused as an Adharmatma by somebody. Bhutanam ahite ratahava. He is interested in only doing harm to everybody. All of these words were used to describe Ravana by Valmiki. Now, Ravana is using the same words to describe Rama. அப்ப என்ன அர்த்தம் அப்படின்னா அவளை பக்தி போட்டிருக்காங்க. ராமன் மேல அவளை பக்தி. ராமன் மேல அவளை பக்தி எப்படி சொல்லலாம்? மாலையளி தருணாச்சல ரமண என் மாலை அணிந்தருள் அருணாச்சலா அப்படி சொன்ன. அருணாச்சல ரமணா அப்படின்னு சொன்னார். Ramana Bhagavan called Arunachala as Ramana. Therefore, Arunachala called Ramana as Arunachala. Ramana Siddhi Panchakathila மலை அப்படிங்கிற வார்த்தைய வருமே இந்த எங்க வரும் அந்த மலைங்கிற வார்த்தையை word malay is used, malayna mountain. The word mountain is used to describe Bhagavan. Ramana Bhagavan. Bhagavan calls Arunachala as Ramana. Arunachala calls Ramana as Arunachala. But you go. Mutual exchange of names. என் பேர் உனக்கு உன் பேர் எனக்கு. அந்த மாதிரி ராவணன் என்ன சொல்ல, இதெல்லாம் என்னுடைய குணம் இருந்தாலும் உங்ககிட்ட ஆரோபிக்கிறேன். ஐ அம் ஆஃபரிங் ஆல் திஸ் டு யூ. மாலையா உனக்கு கொடுக்குறேன், காணிக்கையா கொடுக்குறேன். அவகிட்ட இருக்கிறதாலே கொடுக்க முடியும். யூ கேன் ஒன்லி கிவ் வாட் யூ ஹேவ் இல்லையா? இஷ்ட தேவதைக்கு வாட் யூ கிவ் டு த டியரஸ்ட் தி சோசன் டெய்டி அப்படின்னா யூ கிவ் வாட் எவர் யூ ஹேவ் ஒன்லி. ஒரு அழுகி போன வாழைப்பழம் தான் உங்க காலத்தில் இருந்ததுன்னா அதானே கொடுக்க முடியும். நீ வாட் எவர் இட் இஸ் தட் யூ ஹேவ் யூ ஹேவ் டு ஆஃபர் தட் ஒன்லி டு பகவான் இல்லையா? அப்போ வாட் இஸ் ராவணா ஆஃபரிங்னா தனக்கு இருக்கிறது எல்லாத்தையும் சர்வசங்க பரித்தியாகம் பண்ணி வாட் எவர் இஸ் பிலாங்கிங் டு ஹிம் இஸ் ஆஃபரிங் ஆல் ஆஃப் தட் டு ராமா. அவன் துஷீலனா இருந்தான்னா ராமனும் துஷீலன், அவன் மூர்க்கன் அப்படின்னா ராமனும் மூர்க்கன், அவன் அதர்மாத்மா அப்படின்னா ராமனும் அதர்மாத்மா, சர் பூதானாம் அஹிதேரதா அவனும் பூதானாம் அஹிதேரதா அப்படின்னு அப்படி ஒரு ஏகஸ்வ பாவம் பார்க்கணும். We will stop here for today, this discussion between Ravana and Mārīcā. The reason for all of this is also Valmiki plays very nicely, very beautifully. Valmiki constructs this epic. All these things that Ravana says about Rama, it is going to be countered by none other than Mārīcā himself. Mārīcā, who actually has enmity with Rama. Ravana does not have any enmity with Rama just as yet. But Mārīcā was hit by Rama, was wounded by Rama. His entire life was changed by Rama. If anybody should have enmity towards Rama, Mārīcā should have a festering enmity. And Mārīcā is going to counter all the words of Ravana in order to bring that, the highlight, to bring it to contrast it, the beauty grows more. In order to provide that contrast, Valmiki Bhagavan is saying, Ravana said all these things to Mārīcā. Now Mārīcā is going to come and rebut all of those things, refute all of those things. A rebuttal of all of these things is going to come from Mārīcā's side. Adala we will see as we go ahead with our Ramayana. Janaki Kanta Smaranam Jai Jai Rama Rama Anjaneya Swami Ki Jai. सर्वे बंधु सुखना सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु शान्ति 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 हरि ओम श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु।